Hello, I'm Steve, and thank you for visiting the Patio Heat channel, where we provide visual concepts of infrared heating as well as tips for ideal patio comfort. Check out our patioheat.com website for sales and more information. Please tap that like button if you find this video useful, as it helps others find our channel. Now let's get heating. So you want to put in a Slimline 4000 watt unit, and this customer wanted to know if I would recommend that or where would I place that. So there's only, first of all, let's go right into the dimensions, and I should probably mention that I only received a photo image of the space. I don't have dimensions. I don't have any other details other than what I can see here. So we're just going to go off of some arbitrarily placed dimensions here, and let's see what we can do. All right, so we'll go into the dimensions that I have. Overall dimensions that I placed here, I have a ceiling, or I should say I believe it's a height of the beams up here at 9 foot 3.5 inches off the floor. I have a height over here of this part of the structure at we'll call it close to 8 feet off the ground. And then I have a dimension of the outer dimension, 8.5 feet, the inside dimension from the wall to the inside edge here, I believe, right about here, is it is called 8 feet. And then I have 13.5 feet roughly from this edge here to this inside edge of the wall here. All right, and overall it states that it's about 100 square feet. For 100 square feet you'd need about 28,000 BTUs roughly, and that would call for two 4,000 watt units at minimum to heat the entire space. So let's go ahead and put that off there for a minute, and we'll look at a Slimline 4,000 watt unit. And this would be the only location I could really recommend the 4,000 watt unit to be. You know, if you're thinking of placing a unit, say up here, the issue is with clearances to combustible materials. So the clearances on my particular dimension would not allow that. You can see here the lower clearance here. Let me just turn off this ray for a second here. The lower clearance actually penetrates the wall. We're a few inches into that wall, and we're a few inches into this edge here. So I can't make this recommendation. So the recommendation that I would make, and I should state that we need an overall distance of, I think it's 8 feet 3.5 inches from edge to edge of this. Let me just turn this off so we don't confuse anybody. From edge to edge, from here to this outer edge here, that's the clearance that we need below the heater in order for it to meet all the clearances to combustibles. So the only place I could really recommend a 4,000 watt application on this particular job with the measurements I basically made up is right here. If we place the heater inside here, let's say for an example, then our clearance to combustibles would be hitting this fan blade, and that would be an issue. Now, if the fan blade is not combustible, you can put the heater up here, but you need 6 inches off of this edge of the wall out. And then do you have enough clearance for the fan to actually operate? And if the ray is hitting that fan or hitting the blade of the fan, will it deteriorate the fan blade prematurely, and how long will that take? I don't know that information, so I wouldn't recommend placing it up here, but that might be doable if in fact this is a non-combustible fan. Now let's look at the footprint that this would give you as far as the footprint of heat. I'm going to turn off the clearances here and throw a ray on there, and this would be the footprint of heat that you'll receive at this height. And I have this, I think, at a 25-degree angle pointed towards the center so that we can get as much heat inside as we could. And that'd be about it. So we're not really heating up the entire space with a 4,000 watt unit like this, but it might be acceptable to some. So we'll leave it at that. And this is go on to what I would truly probably recommend, and that recommendation would be more of using possibly 2 of the CD 4024s. These are still 4,000 watt units. As I stated before, you'll need 2 4,000 watt units for this overall square footage, roughly about 100 square feet. And I've placed them so that we're on this beam here and this beam over here. Now, I'm not sure if these are truly the spacing between these beams, and we can look at that real quick here. Let's see. And we'll go from just this edge here for a second to this edge, which would be center to center essentially, and that's 1 foot 8 7/8. Let me go ahead and erase that for a second. So that would give you the 18 inches of clearance if it was true. And let's go ahead and put the clearance on here below. So this would be your below clearance. And I have this bracket centered within the beam itself, and we're meeting that clearance. We have about an inch, inch and a half here to go. So it is somewhat adjustable, and you could actually offset this bracket onto the center of the beam. Instead of putting on the center, you might push it over or something of that nature. But we're also missing the fan blades, and so we're good on all of our clearances, and our side clearances are also met here as well, left and right of the heater. So that's why I would recommend a CD4024 for this particular application. Let's go ahead and look at the footprint of heat. You can see the footprint of heat is covering the area fairly well. I would say possibly even changing the angle I have here. I think I have them at 15 degrees. You might just place it down 10 degrees off of straight down to the ground, so 10 degrees out, and you might get a little bit further coverage to the outer edge on both sides. You could actually place them both straight down and you'd still be meeting the clearances. However, you would be throwing some heat into the wall, and I would recommend placing it at some sort of an angle, at least 10 to 15 degrees at minimum. So, all right, well, I hope this has helped. If you're looking for some assistance with your outdoor heating application and you would like us to review your plans, please send your information to designs@patioheat.com. I'm Steve. And again, please tap that like button. We do not advertise, we do not monetize. Therefore, YouTube will not promote our channel unless we receive your appreciation, and we appreciate that very much. Thank you and have a great day.